showtime.
Creepy, crawly, squirmy, bitey, tiny little bastards. Well, I'll acknowledge that there are quite a few insect species out there that are beneficial to Earth. I still prefer for them to leave me alone and not bug me. Seeing some of them up close is almost downright nightmare fuel. And just imagining them crawling inside your body somehow and just nope. Before we begin, if you enjoy our content, give it a like, a share, and please subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate it as we continue to grow our channel. With that being said, let's get lost in the swarm. I'm your host, Jamie, and here are the top 10 killer bug horror movies. Number 1, The Nest, 1988. On the small island town called Northport, several dogs and small animals turn up dead. Enter Dr. Morgan Hubbard, who through a trap housing a cat, lures in the mysterious attackers and finds out that they are flesh-eating cockroaches. Not only can they devour an entire animal within seconds, they can also reproduce asexually, making the threat reach global epidemic proportions if they don't do something quick. After some research, they discover that the corporation Intech, who have a deal to redevelop the island, are behind the super roaches. After several different attempts to exterminate the bug menace, they encounter a queen cockroach-human hybrid, but they take her down by the end. This kind of film already makes my skin crawl, but what's great is that they continue to perpetuate the idea that cockroaches can survive everything and anything. Number 2, Arachnophobia, 1990. Spiders are actually friends to humans, as they trap, kill, and eat pesky disease-carrying insects such as mosquitoes and flies. However, when they come in the size of a shoebox and have a thirst for the blood of mammals, then I would suggest you run. The film's plot is pretty simple. Big-time doctor moving to a small town to lessen his workload and enjoy life a little more. This being the backcountry, there are numerous insects crawling and buzzing around, which just can't be helped. Enter a voracious new spider species brought back after an expedition into a rainforest. It gets loose and starts living in their barn. Soon paralyzed and desiccated bodies start popping up all over town, until the 8-legged culprits are discovered, and an all-out war on the beautiful farmhouse is waged. Both horrifying and laugh-out-loud funny, this is one of those horror films you can get together with a group of friends and have a good time with. Number 3, Slugs, 1988. Based on the 1982 novel of the same name, the plot is almost identical to The Nest, mentioned earlier, except swap out roaches with slugs. In a small fictional town, one night a man is eaten alive by these vicious little slimers, and an investigation soon begins by the local sheriff's department. Cue the gruesome deaths of several fellow townies and an explosive finish. You'll never look at those slow-moving, wiggly bastards the same way. Remember, always keep the salt handy. Number 4, Ticks, 1993. Possibly one of the campiest films on this list, and also one of my favorites. The cast is actually pretty decently stacked for such a low-budget B-rated horror flick. The film centers around a group of troubled kids being taken out to the woods for a sort of summer camp rehabilitation week. Unbeknownst to them, a nearby pot farmer has been leaking THC-infused chemicals into the ground, which has infested the nest of some ticks and made them grow to gigantic size and ravenously hungry. As they begin their assault, the kids and their chaperones must band together to fight the menace, until a final showdown with a human-sized tick monster that emerges out of the body of one of the kids. It's gory, goopy, and cheesy, and surprisingly holds up to this day. Definitely one to watch if you're a fan of the outdoors. Number 5, Empire of the Ants, 1977. Based on a book of the same name by H.G. Wells, The film revolves around a group of land buyers who are then attacked by giant mutated ants. You may have seen something similar before in movies like Them and The Hive, but what makes this film stand apart from those is that the queen ant at the center has the ability to utilize her pheromones to enslave humans to also do her bidding. She uses them to build up her base at this old sugar factory, until, of course, our heroes figure out what's going down and burn it to the ground. A fun watch, but don't expect any kind of Oscar-worthy acting here. Number 6. Bug, 1975. This film is clever in how it approaches the bug apocalypse. At first, an earthquake releases a bunch of insects of unknown origin who have the ability to rub their legs together and create fire. We think that this is what the threat will be throughout the film, but then suddenly, they start dying off. They are unable to survive on the surface due to the low air pressure. Enter Professor James Parmiter, who becomes obsessed with these bugs and decides to do the dumbest thing he could possibly think of, which is crossbreeding this new species with cockroaches to help them survive in the wild. Now, super intelligent with the added ability to also now fly, the film kind of ends on a dark note, with Parmiter able to communicate with the insects and the bugs ready to take over the world. Maybe this is the true origin to Love and Monsters. Number 7. Squirm, 1976. After a power line goes down during a storm in rural Georgia, the resulting electrocution of the mud superpowers the worms that live within. The worms begin to breed with other worm species and become more intelligent and aggressive, popping up in food and other products of the nearby small town. Several attacks later, it is even discovered that worms can enter people's bodies and sort of control them like parasites. The ending is a bit anticlimactic, which kind of also makes it more eerie, as it seems the worms just disappeared and moved on to who knows where. Number 8. Mosquito, 1995. While the acting in this film is akin to watching a parody porno, the effects of the bugs themselves is actually pretty good, aside from showing them in flight, that is. The film follows 3 major characters: a man investigating a meteor crash, a couple on holiday, and a group of redneck doomsday prepping bank robbers, until they cross paths after a horde of giant-sized mosquitoes begin attacking everyone and anyone in their path. One of the greatest kills is when one of the robbers gets sucked completely dry by one of the mosquitoes, and he becomes this empty, gaunt husk. All done in the practical effects. If you already hate these pesky bloodsuckers, then this is a film for you. Number 9. Phase 4, 1974. If you've seen the recent Ant-Man Quantumania film, you might have noticed some of the Phase 4 Easter eggs they laid during the ant evolution scenes. This film sees a mysterious cosmic event bathe an ant colony in radiation that causes them to evolve rapidly. They start building new hives in strange geometrical designs and seem to be studying animals and humans alike, learning about us the way we learn about them. The ants eventually learn how to immunize themselves against chemicals and begin invading science labs and whatnot to cut off a nearby town from the rest of the world. 2 scientists try to devise a way to communicate with them to establish some kind of peace talks, but the ants instead lure one of them into a trap and kill him. The other scientist takes it upon himself to try to exterminate them, but along the way to killing the queen, he discovers something truly horrifying. The ants don't want to wipe out the human race, but enslave them instead. This is one of those truly nihilistic, Twilight Zone-esque endings that, if you're a fan of doomsday-type films, will have you talking with your friends about the implications long after the film has ended. Number 10. Starship Troopers, 1997. This entry is a bit of a cheat since it's not based on any actual insects found here on Earth. Nonetheless, it is still a killer bug movie, and a damn good one at that. Not only is the overarching story a great satire on America's military-industrial complex and patriotic indoctrination of its citizens, but it's also just a straight-up fun ride to watch a bunch of space marines get chopped, melted, and devoured by enormous mantis beetle-looking hybrids. With fast and furious pacing, incredible comedic timing, likable characters, and pretty well done special effects. If you've somehow managed to never see this film, I highly recommend checking it out. Just ignore the sequels, trust me. Thanks for checking out the video. What's your worst bug nightmare? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the content, please give it a like and a share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. I've been your host, Jamie. Don't let the bedbugs bite.